We are live at Expert35, and today we are talking about challenges. We are talking about Hurricane Laura. We're talking about preparation. We're talking about things you need to do, right? As promised, experts from 35 different industries talking about the challenges, the hardships, and the opportunities. Well, we're bringing one of our original OG experts, Brian, because he's a roofer. And if somebody knows how to protect your house, it's going to be that roofer. So Brian, thanks so much for being with us today.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for having me.
I know you've been doing this for a long time, and obviously, you know your way around a house, and the roof is kind of like your first defense, right? In terms of keeping the elements out, keeping the water out, keeping you dry.
Right.
And this is looking more and more Houston, Texas, right? That's where you're located.
Correct.
And as this is now turning into a Category 4. So and a Category 2 is bad. Category 1, if it's a category, it's bad. Let's just be clear about that, right? People are like, "Oh, it's just a 2." I'm like, it's a hurricane. If it was a tropical storm, it can still knock trees down and like knock power out. And was part of the concern. But now with the winds, Brian, tell us what are some of the things that we need to be looking out for?
Yes. Well, I mean, to go on as far as your category status, when it gets bad, as soon as they get a name, it's bad in realistic terms of it. But yeah, as far as the things that you need to be prepared for is high winds coming in, a lot of water. You're going to have the storm is going to bring that with, and with that opportunity that water is going to get in the roof and leaks in there, and that's why it's really important to have your roof maintained and have a maintenance check on those. But some of the things that you need to do beforehand outside of your roof to prepare for a hurricane is have a prep kit. Have items like a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid supplies, those types of things in this prep kit. Bring items from outside the house and that's in your yard, any patio furniture that you might have outside that the wind can pick up and blow away and end up in your neighbor's house, or even yet end up through your neighbor's window. You don't want the winds picking that up and blowing through there. Have drinking water ready for use, whether it be bottled water or jugs, gallons of water. You can take those bottles of water, put them in the freezer beforehand to create ice so that you can keep your food cool in case you do lose power, as well as you would have cold drinking water after the fact. Have your primary vehicle full of gas. Make sure you've got a full
Totally.
tank.
Yeah.
That you got a full tank of gas there. Stock it with emergency supplies. Plan a communication with your family. Let them know this is what our plan is, and whatnot. Any family members that might be out of state or out of the area, let them know what's going on. Keep in touch with them, because if power does go out, then you don't necessarily have that means of communication. Turn off any propane tanks and unplug small appliances. Those are.
And that's actually, so let's talk a little bit about that. I love that you're talking about, the plan. I absolutely agree. The turning things off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so easy for somebody like you to say it because you know your way around a house, right? So Jennifer had a great question. What should we do right now? I think this is like the perfect time to walk around your house and find out where your propane is. So like, where would a propane tank be? One would be by the grill, right? Right. Some other people live on propane, right? So like there would be like a big old tank, right? But there's also like shut-off valves, right? Like, what do you recommend?
Go, know where your breakers are, your breaker box. Is it in your garage? Where in your garage is your breakers? And then also, where are your valves for your gas? Where identify all these areas so that you know exactly where everything is to be checked out.
And there's usually 2 shut-off valves for your water. There's usually one to the house that's just like a small one, but there's usually like a city connection one too, right? And the city connection is tricky. Like, you need this long bar, and like sometimes you can't just turn it yourself.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. But they do sell that at Home Depot. So I was like, look, during Harvey, that's one of the things that our crews were doing is like shedding city water to these houses. And just the breakers. There's also like that big breaker, right? We should probably have an electrician on one of these too. It's like there's just a big one up top. You can do that one too,
Yeah.
right? Just blow the big one or pull it. That way, you're not gonna have a surge or anything like that. What about generators? What do you recommend? Where should they place them, or what's a good use of a generator?
Recognize what utilities that you're wanting to use to run off that generator, and have it in a close proximity to where you're wanting to use that. You don't want you want to have it in an area that during the storm you're not going over and I need to bring it over here now.
Right.
Have it,
and you don't want to run it indoors. Like maybe even the garage is a bad idea. So you do want to be ventilated, right?
Right.
So maybe during the storm, you want to tie down. Like that's what you were saying earlier. Good point, right? Even though generators are heavy, man, cows will fly off in these things. So, right. So tie it down, but have it, near where you're going to work and make sure you've got, have the gas and all that stuff ready. Question for you in terms of the roof, right? I mean, you've got people you're working with. What are you doing for them? Do you like just tarp it and like staple it down, hope for the best? Like what's happening?
Yeah. There's I'm working with more than a handful of clients right now that we haven't, that are on the list to get new roofs. And of course, right now we can't do a roof today or tomorrow. And so, yes, Monday and Tuesday this week, we were out there tarping their roofs because they did have a leak already.
Wow.
And so we're going through the insurance process on some of them. Others were, just doing the repairs on that. But yeah, we have to, go ahead and tarp those and in preparation for the storm so that they don't receive any more leaks during the process of the storm.
So let's just say we have a leak. Great question. Jan is asking, should I have my roof inspected after the storm, even if it's not leaking? Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
100%, 100%. Because for wind, if we receive high winds, if you're in a high wind area, that wind can come in and lift the shingles, break the matting, break the seal, and it's going to lift the shingles up and crease them. And you can't see that from the ground. Just like you can't see hail damage from the ground. If those shingles are broken, if the seal is broken on there and whatnot, then it's very easy for water to get in after the fact on the next storm. And so you want to be ahead of the game and have somebody come in there after the storm, take a look. Okay, did your roof survive everything? Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Does it need a maintenance package? And this is where there's a big misconception here. And I want to inform everybody, your roof is like your car. It needs maintenance.
Sure.
You change your oil on your vehicle every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. You know that because you drive your car almost every day. What people don't recognize is that you need to have maintenance on your roof every 3 to 5 years, just the same. But you don't know that because you don't drive your roof every day.
Yeah, your roof is working for you every day. This is a great question from Jennifer. It's like, what happens to the roof during, what if something happens? Like, so something actually, if they notice water coming in or something, what do you recommend the next step be?
Okay. You want to try and identify exactly where it's coming from. If you see that there's water coming in from the ceiling or whatnot, go up to the attic. And if you have an attic that you can move around in and access, put a bucket there so it catches the drip. You don't want to have that just keep dripping and dripping and dripping and cause further damage in there. Part of every insurance policy, if you're going to file a claim, is that you extended the ability to prevent any further damage from happening. And that's every insurance policy. Insurance companies aren't kind. They don't like paying out money. And if they can come in and say, well, you didn't do enough to prevent further damage, we're not going to cover this claim. So you want to make sure that you have done everything in your power to prevent any further leaking. So if you do see something happening up there, go up in your attic, put a bucket, put a towel underneath that area. And then call a roofer, call myself to come out. And as soon as it is safe, we would, either us or your preferred roofing company would be able to tarp the roof or do any immediate repairs.
Great points. I've also got a great question, because we actually talked about some of this offline. Will the storm affect solar panel systems?
No. The solar panels, are they generate electricity from UV, and even if they're cloudy days, UV gets through the cloud to power the systems. If the concern is, are the storms going to damage the panel system? The most panel systems are covered by your insurance. A lot of companies do come with a warranty for that. The panels that we install do come with a 30-year warranty. They are manufactured to withstand high winds up to 110 miles per hour. They are manufactured to withstand class 4 impact resistant hail.
Wow.
So the ones that we sell are high end and made to withstand storms that come through Texas, because that's the area that we are in. And we do get hail, we do get hurricanes, and so we sell the panels that are impacted that way. If anything does happen, then you call your insurance, and your insurance will cover the replacement of any solar panels, just like your roof.
I'm going to add something to your list. I'm sure it's on your list. We just haven't said it, but we'll keep saying it. Guys, collect all your documents. Put your insurance documents together. Put your IDs. Like, really have, I love these like fire safes, right? Where you can just kind of put everything in there. They float. They're waterproof. They're fireproof, right? Keep like the most important documents, and they're small, right? They just kind of like carry your stuff around, because if you do have to file a claim, man, during Harvey, we have a nonprofit that provides literacy and support, and in that side, and we actually transformed ourselves into just reading policies for people, because when you're in shock, when you have something bad like Harvey come through, it doesn't matter how much education you have, right? It's hard to just read through those policies and understand, right, what those are, and it doesn't have to be original stuff either. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, if you want to put that in a PO box or something, great. Take photos. And look, we got Janet chiming in.
and to add on the whole insurance policy side of things, as far as translating that, recognize that if you have a question about your policy, your broker, call your agent. Do not call the insurance company directly, because as soon as you call the insurance company directly, question about your policy, they open a claim. Okay, so regardless of if you were calling to open a claim or not, if you were just calling to have a question, they may open a claim on there for you. And before you've talked to your agent to translate your policy and say, oh, well, it may not have been worth it because your deductible was so high, the repairs that are going to be under your deductible. So, but you've already called the insurance and they've already opened this claim. So call your agent, call your broker before you call to file the claim.
Right. And I'm sure there's actually a great question from Greg, is like, hey, how do I actually get somebody to come inspect if there's such high demand? Right. I guess first talk to the people that put the roof in originally, or what do you suggest?
Ask your friends. If you've got in the neighborhood, your neighbors, if there is a roofer that is in your neighborhood, they're already there. If you trust your neighbor and they've got a roofer out there, well, then you can have them, do the inspection just as well. Usually, if I'm in the neighborhood and doing an inspection, and the neighbor says, "Hey, while you're here," yeah, I'm right there. I may have another appointment. Hey, I'll call you. I'm running a little behind, and while I'm here, let me just hop on this roof real quick. Type of thing. Go to
and just check, right? Like the Harka, like there's a couple of sites like Better Bureau and stuff like that.
Check your, for Houston, there's the Houston Area Roofing Contractor Association, which have the top roofing companies that are credentialed in the
Mm-hmm.
Houston area. In Texas, you can also go to RCAT, which is the Roofing Contractor Association of Texas, in which there it
Mm-hmm.
has the different areas in the Austin area, the San Antonio area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, all the credentialed roofers for those particular areas the same.
Yeah, and be wary because I mean, there's storm chasers. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just I mean, I would say if you're just looking for an inspection or something, at least look for somebody that is licensed and operates out of your own city or state, right? Because you're going to get people from Oklahoma, people from
Right.
Colorado, like driving into town.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I don't think it was Harvey, it was Ike that I ended up having my office like subletted to two appraisers for like 6 months. And I mean, they just couldn't, there was just so much stuff to go through. And, and actually on Monday, we're going to talk about appraising stuff. So stay tuned. Jennifer also had some good comments, like take photos of everything. I'm like, yeah, if you don't have a list, like go around and like just take some photo. Here, I'm going to put that up there. Like just take some pictures so that there's like a little bit of like before and after. I love when I rent a car, I just always drive with my camera filming it. Because you may miss that photo just because it's in that little corner, and if you do a video, at least it gets you something, right?
Yeah. I had one client during Harvey that did. Yeah, he went through and took pictures of everything before when he recognized the water was coming up and up and up and up. Did the preventative measures and tried to move stuff, but I don't think we're going to get a flood from this. This is not, the type of storm that we're going to get flood from. But just in the education process of flood and insurance, one of the things, yes, you want to take pictures of everything. Everything that water touched is ruined. All your cleaning supplies underneath your sink that you've spent money on, that Windex, that Clorox, the dishwasher soap, bleach, all that kind of stuff that's under there that has been sitting in flood water, that's all ruined. And so many people don't put that on their claim when it was ruined. You spent money on that.
Super interesting.
You need to get reimbursed for that loss. So take pictures. Don't forget to take pictures of what's underneath your cabinets.
Right.
When hurricanes come, they bring the flood water. So you want to think in the mindset of flood. Where's the water going to get? Start on the ground. Start on the ground. Yes, also hurricanes do bring high winds to where water is going to get in through your roof. So, but the forecast and the weather people are going to tell you, is this going to bring potential floods, or is this going to bring potential high winds? So, know which kind of storm it's going to bring. If it's going to bring potential floods, then yes, you want to be documenting and what's in your drawers, close to the ground, what's in your closet, on the ground, your shoes, in the garage. Go in the garage. You've got all kinds of tools. People have in the garage, and other paint, that kind of stuff in your garage. Go and take pictures of that stuff if you're not able to move it.
Man, so interesting. Greg's got a great point. Look, we've got COVID on top of a hurricane, and we're no experts on the whole, like where to go and all those other pieces. But it is, as you mentioned something really important, is like have a plan. And if you have an evacuation plan, and all I'm suggesting is if you're a high risk, right? So for instance, we're high risk, so we're already not in Houston, right? Now we haven't been in Houston because of COVID. In fact, I was kind of late in the game, knowing that the hurricane was really kind of coming this way, and that's why we changed the program. So Brian, thank you so much for joining us, because this information is what people are needing right now.
Yeah.
But part of your plan should include, hey, what are the shelters or opportunities for you to go and stay safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit more now about post-storm, right? We talked about the inspections, but let's talk about now being prepared. One of the things that you've kind of touched on, and we touched stuff offline that I think is super important, is backup power, right? Power goes out.
Yeah.
We were talking about generators, but you're also talking about solar. So let's talk
Right,
about
right.
those opportunities in the solar world.
Yeah, and it's so popular right now, man.
Mhm.
We are getting very busy with solar panels here in Houston. It is just a great market for it. We have a great opportunity. Um, we're doing solar panels and we can beat the price of what you're paying for electricity. We've got financing rates as low as 1.49% for 20 years. I mean, you can't beat that. That's free money
That
and
is free money. I
you know,
mean, 20, that's not even a car. Like a car is like, sometimes it's 0%, but it's for,
yeah,
3, 4 years. That's 20 years. This is
yeah.
incredible.
And right now in 2020, you're able to take advantage of a 26% solar tax credit on the installation of the panels.
Right.
If we install a new roof with that as well, then you get the solar tax credit on the roof and the panels. So, but back to your original question, as far as energy and electricity,
Right.
one of the great things that comes with solar panels is the ability to store that energy
Mhm.
with a battery, so that you're not reliant on the grid. If the power goes out, if the electricity is not to provide, the ability to provide you any electricity, well, you have a battery backup that
Right.
is, similar to a generator, but the generator's going off of gas and everything else. This is off of the solar energy that you have produced from your panels to produce, a backup for you. So in these times when we do have hurricanes, that's going to come through Houston area and knock out power for days at a time, having
Mhm.
solar panels, you're independent from the grid to be able to have a battery backup that would generate your electricity free and independent from the grid.
When what's convenient. So we talked earlier, like, hey, you can have a generator, have batteries, but what's convenient about this is generators require maintenance. I mean, everything requires
Mhm.
maintenance. Your roof requires maintenance, but the solar panel is working every day for you.
Correct.
So it's not like you just, oh, I hope it turns on. It's not an emergency
Yeah.
backup, right? If it's working today, the chances are it's going to work tomorrow, unless it's impacted and like a tree falls on it, right? But at the same time, like that's incredible that like the solar panel world is realizing, hey, the quality of the material is now long enough that it's going to last for 30 years. Like before, I think that was what it was, right? People would buy these panels and they were so early adopters. Like, what do we do now? But I think the safety of knowing that if the power goes out, I will at least have, maybe not full, maybe I don't want to be doing laundry and everything every day, but I mean, I have the spectrum of being comfortable, being safe, and and making possibly being able to make a phone call even, right? Like just
Right.
because.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you would definitely have enough power to charge your phone for sure.
mhm. Right. Well, right. I mean, I'm saying like little things like that make a huge difference in comforts. Your refrigerator can stay on. There's some things that don't draw a lot of amps. Maybe the air conditioning, right? I mean, it just depends on what it is. I mean, we were talking offline, like how much does it cost? And you're like, well, what size? What did you say? What size shoe does a teenager
Yeah.
wear?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it totally depends on what kind of what your family and what your usage is for the electricity. I mean,
Hmm.
what a single bachelor uses in the same house as what a family of five uses in the same house is different than what a family that has two electric cars is different than what somebody a newlywed down the street that
Hmm.
is conservative on their energy use. So every single one of those families and groups could have the exact same house, but have tremendously different usage of their kilowatts and how much electricity that they need to be had to generate.
Hmm.
And so it really, the square footage of your house has nothing to do. I mean, well,
Right. Well.
it has very little to do with the actual plan and the array of solar panels that would be put together for your house. It would be more on the basis of your electricity use. So again, somebody that has a 1,000 square foot house that keeps their power on all the time with the AC at 68 degrees could be could be the same as somebody that has a 3,000 square foot house that is
Right.
conservative. You know.
All right, Brian, super important information. My favorite part of the show is, hey, what are 3 things to do right now? And these are super actionable now because obviously storm's coming up, right? So what would
Right.
you recommend?
One is get a prep list.
Hmm.
Have a kit for the storm. 2, have a roofer's number handy.
Yes, there it is.
Have a roofer's number handy. There's our number right there. You can reach me directly. If you get a leak in your house, you want to get that taken care of ASAP.
Hmm.
And the storms that occur with are hurricanes, tornadoes, and hailstorms. We're about to have a hurricane.
Hmm.
And the third thing right now is make sure that you have enough water and
Yeah, be
supply.
safe. Have your preparations. And like I said, have a number like somebody like Brian because you are the number one defense, right? A window broken, that is just put up a board, right? A power outage is you're gonna hang out, right? So, and know your agents. Yeah, please have a little say. We already had Janet chime in. Have your documents safe and ready. Brian, super grateful for you to be here today. I think the information you're giving out is super timely. I actually really enjoyed talking about the solar panels as well. I think that really opens up my mind, especially to other possibilities. I know a lot of people are thinking like, oh, I should go buy solar panels. No, not right now, but it's an opportunity to consider as well
Yeah, and
moving forward.
right now it's such a great opportunity. Most people were able to beat their electricity, what they're currently paying for electricity, and get them in a panel system, save
Mhm.
money, and be able to put a proposal together and just it's a zero out of pocket, smooth transition, save money situation.
Right. Well, Brian, I know you got a bunch of inspections to go to. I know you got a lot of things to do. I know we got George, the plumber. He's checking sump pumps because apparently there's a lot of people in Houston that also have basements. So check your sump pump. We got a couple other experts. Go look at our lineup because the guys that we put on the show are experts because of their reputation. Right? They may have a lot of clients, but they'll have one reputation. And we're really grateful for you to jump in and help us out today, Brian. Stay safe and keep us posted. All right.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, guys. That was Brian with Stallion Solutions. Next week, we're going to talk about appraisals. We're going to talk about a couple of different angles for how to make this transition through this. So on top of a pandemic, we've got this. We're going to leave you guys with some of the pictures and his phone number because it's so important to just please stay safe. We'll see you guys hopefully in the next couple 24 hours. We'll keep you guys updated on what's happening on Expert35. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys soon.
We educate during difficult times. We collaborate at Expert35. This is for a better tomorrow and a better today. Let's come together and together we will find a way. You got questions, we got solutions. You got problems, we got resolutions. Visit Expert35.com. No need to worry, just remain calm. No more pain, no more sorrows. We provide solutions for a better tomorrow.